These snakes scare me. These guys are renowned for just going crazy.
Today we're going to be milking 5 of Australia's most dangerous snake species. And in doing so, we're going to calculate how many humans that venom yield could kill. And in the end, explain to you exactly how anti-venom is created. I will be working alongside Billy Collett. He's a Jedi Master in the universe of reptiles, and to date has milked the venom from all of Australia's most dangerous snakes. Hundreds of times. Billy, before we get into the intensity of milking snakes today, and I have to note to the audience, it is palpable how dangerous this room feels. Every one of these containers filled with a snake that can kill you. But I want to talk real quickly about the difference between dangerous and deadly and how with Australian snakes, it all combines together.
Yeah, there's a big argument there, I think, but when it comes to deadly and dangerous, we look at dangerous are the ones that kill the most people, and then deadly being the most toxic. So up here, we've got Australia's most toxic snakes.
Right. A lot of times the dangerous versus deadly breaks down to where a snake is located in its proximity to humans. How often you will come across a snake versus how infrequently you could come across it, correct?
Yeah. So at the moment, Australia's most dangerous snake is the eastern brown. It's not the most toxic, it's number 2 in the world, but it bites the most people.
Wow, okay, so that's because of its proximity to humans.
Yeah.
When it comes to the actual most deadly snake in Australia, which species would that be?
That's the inland taipan, and that's the most toxic snake on planet Earth.
Okay, the first one we're going to be taking a look at is the king brown. This thing is a giant, the Mulga, as it's commonly known. What do we need to know about the snake?
They've got the biggest venom yield of any venomous snake on the planet. What they lack in toxicity, they make up for in volume, and it's just an overwhelming effect on your system. And you imagine one of our really big king browns can pump out in excess of 800 milligrams in a bite. You can see straight away massive venom glands on this fella.
That is such a big snake. Okay.
Yep.
Here we go, king brown, the Mulga. Let's milk it. Wow. Dang, that's a lot of venom.
So it's still going. His glands are still, they're probably still 80% full.
So he's able to control, in a sense, the amount of venom that he's choosing to give.
And look at that.
It's just locked in place.
He will not let go of that.
There we have it, the king brown officially milked. That's 1 out of 5, and that is an intimidating snake right there. Okay, Billy, king brown is down. And next up on our list of venomous danger noodles is the death adder.
The thing I find interesting about death adders is they've got the fastest strike of any snake on the planet.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, you can't even see it.
Wow.
Out of all the snakes I restrain, these guys make me the most nervous because A, their strike and their bottom jaw is extremely flexible like the vipers, and they get their fangs out the side of them and work them towards your fingers. So I use a 3-point grip like I do with all my snakes, and I just keep the front of that head as far away from my fingers as I possibly can.
You guys ready? Milking the death adder. Oh, jeez.
I jump every time.
It made me jump. You didn't warn me about that. You can see just with that leap to grab onto the vial, the speed, even with your hand controlling it, was fast. So what sort of prey species are these snakes specializing in? Using caudal luring like that with the tail, I imagine they're drawing in little mammals and
lizards,
maybe birds?
in particular, small birds.
Okay.
Yeah, they love to eat skinks and geckos.
Okay.
It's the only elapid, short, thick-bodied elapid that sits still on the ground and relies on camouflage and that ambush attack, you know.
Pretty cool.
So I wouldn't mind letting go of the head of this fella.
Yeah, let's put it back.
So yeah, with these guys, the strike is faster than the eye. So I've actually got to wait for him to pull away from me before I can let go. because I literally wouldn't be able to get my hand out of there fast enough.
Right, so you want his body tucked back far enough.
I need him to reverse like he's doing before I can actually let go.
All right, Billy's faster than the Death Adder. I like that. 2 snakes down, successfully milked. Next up is the tiger snake. This is my favorite snake in Australia. Wait until you guys get a look at this reptile.
Wild thing with tiger snakes, they turn your blood into jelly.
I did not know this. Your blood turns to jelly, so
Yeah.
it coagulates it together?
It coagulates and then it can't actually move around your body anymore. So that's what can kill you if you don't use first aid with this. Well, with any of our species, but yeah.
Okay, so don't want to get bit by this one.
Same deal, when we get him onto the pin pad, I'll grab the head, you come in, body, and then block that cloaca.
Okay. Oh wow, that snake is beautiful.
Yep, you're good.
Ooh, wow. Pretty strong-bodied snake.
Yeah, they are very thick.
Whoa. All right, the tiger snake. Let's do it. Oh yeah, look at that.
There we go, so you can see it funneling out of that left-hand fang there.
Also a clear venom.
Yep.
Now, like the king brown, is this a snake that's gonna bite and hold on?
Unlikely. More of a bite and let go, and then try and get away, unless it's grabbed a prey, you know, a lizard or a frog or a little bird or something.
And where are these snakes typically found? I mean, is this a species that humans are likely to run into?
Not as much as they used to. They used to be very common along the East Coast, but with urban development and so on, and their habitat cleared, they're not as common. But some areas they are, especially the colder, more alpine sort of areas, and even islands off South Australia and Victoria and Tasmania and so on. And he should let go pretty easy. And that's actually a pretty good yield. What I'll do is I'll swap you that.
Got it.
Don't drink it.
Yeah, I will do my best not to. Very tempting.
And I'll take this.
And tiger snake.
And I'll take him back to the
So
enclosure.
far, successfully accomplished. Okay, that is 3 venom vials successfully accomplished. Let's see what we're gonna milk next.
So.
Yeah, Billy, what are you thinking?
I'm just warming up here.
Okay.
And picking, I think I'm gonna go with Keith. Like, all the Taipans here are pretty jumpy.
And its name is Keith.
Keith, yeah.
Okay.
So he's not as reactive usually.
Okay.
He's a little bit more behaved, so I wouldn't mind using him.
Now, anything we need to know, because these are very fast snakes, correct?
So before anti-venom was available, this species had a 100% kill rate when they bit someone in Australia.
Okay, so now that anti-venom is created, that's not necessarily the case. So what you're saying is that if you were ever to be bitten by a Costal Taipan, it is a 100% death sentence unless you receive anti-venom treatment.
Yep. So, you know, normally as our snakes get more toxic, the venom yields get smaller. Not with these guys.
Okay.
And their fangs, they've got the biggest fang of any of our Australian venomous snakes and one of the largest venom yields.
Okay, so we are lining up now with a fast snake, a smart snake, large fangs, large venom yield, and very flighty.
Very flighty.
I'm gonna step over here out of the way and let you do what it is you do. All right, here we go. The Costal Taipan is coming out of its enclosure. This is one of the most dangerous situations we're gonna possibly face here today. Oh, look at that snake.
Just get him into that right position. All right, you ready to jump on that tail?
Yeah, you good?
Yep.
Okay, that is a very intimidating snake, that's for certain. Look at the size of its head.
Long
My
head.
Goodness.
Big eyes, they're very focused, they're very in tune, they're very smart. These snakes scare me.
Okay.
Out of any of our Australian snakes, these guys scare me the most, and I imagine he'll be pretty willing to bite this. Yeah. And you can see that initial huge yield.
That is massive.
And look at the fangs.
Jeez, you're right.
And with the venom itself, so you know how the tiger snake causes your blood to clot? This guy does the complete opposite, and your blood thins out to the point where you bleed out of every orifice, out of your gums, your eyes, and you know, downstairs.
Wow,
just
really?
bleeding, yeah.
So you're like internally hemorrhaging if you get bitten by this.
Internally hemorrhaging, and then it paralyzes your diaphragm, so your heart and lungs can't work.
And essentially you'll choke to death on your own
You
blood
just
eventually.
literally just die, yeah.
Wow, okay, that sounds like a horrible way to go.
But thankfully, the anti-venom is fantastic and the first aid is just as good. So.
Okay, how fast does something like that set in when it comes to your blood thinning out? I mean, how much time would you estimate you have if you're bitten by one of these snakes?
If you were to get bitten by one and do first aid straight away, it'd be hours usually before you had any symptoms, because that's how effective those bandages are. But without a bandage, I reckon, based off studies that I know, you're looking at about half an hour, you'd be vomiting blood, you'd be passing out, you'd be in a very bad way.
So a bite from the snake, and within 30 minutes, you were going downhill quickly.
Yep.
Wow.
Breaking out in sweats and just in a very bad place.
Yeah, not a snake you ever want to tangle with. Okay, I imagine you probably want to get this guy back. Whoa, look at the inside of the mouth.
Yep.
He's looking at us.
And
like,
there's
I mean business.
Hundreds of teeth in there across that bottom jaw and the top jaw for securing rodents, you know, and that's what they feed on. And those massive fangs. So I'll grab that tail.
Grab the... Well done. Oh. that was intense, and it's not even the most intense snake that we're going to milk today, but wow, I mean, I'm sweating bullets. I can't even imagine how you're feeling right now, Billy. I know this is a part of everyday life, but for us, getting to milk these snakes and see them up close like that, it's intense. So Billy, we have now successfully milked 4 snakes, and it's hard to describe how intense this scenario is. Getting through 4 of them, my heart rate is like through the roof, and there'll be days where you're milking several hundred snakes at a time, correct?
Yeah, it's hard pumping stuff, but like the thing I find is I just can't lose focus. And if I'm having an off day, I have to call it, because there's no point taking the risk with these things, especially those Taipans, and as you'll see very soon, the Eastern Browns are just so jumpy.
We're about to milk the Eastern Brown, which is the most dangerous snake species that we're going to interact with today, arguably the most dangerous snake species in Australia. If the worst case scenario were to happen, if you were to be bitten, what is the protocol that you would go through to save your life?
We have a drill and we can go through that drill if you want. You can be our victim.
Yeah, I'll play the not bitten by, but the what if bitten by victim.
Yep.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's test out a snake drill. Where do we start?
Right here with a snake bite bandage.
Okay, Billy, let's set up the scenario. A bite is most likely going to happen right in this vicinity if the snake's head wasn't pinned correctly. So, assuming I was trying to make my move, ooh, bitten, got bitten, Billy.
Okay, mate, just move away from the snake, come up this way, very quietly and calm, straight on.
Oh, that was bad.
Take that jewelry off for me and that sweatband. Gonna get a bandage for you. We're gonna go 3 times over your bite site. It's important to try and get those rectangles into squares on these type of bandages, because this is actually slowing down your lymphatic system movement in this limb, which is what the venom's actually traveling through. So it's not in your blood system yet.
Okay.
Really important you keep that limb straight.
Okay.
I'm gonna deal with this snake. So we've got the snake, he's back in the cage. I'm gonna grab the wheelchair, and at the same time, I'm gonna contact reception. Billy to reception.
Really
Coyote has been bitten by a tiger snake. He's got his bandage on, and I'm just transferring to wheelchair now. The time is 11:09. Can you please advise Gosford ED that we are on our way? I'm grabbing the anti-venom. How you feeling, mate?
Oh, Billy, I'm scared, and it hurts.
Let me know if you start to feel nauseous or blurry vision, if you get a funny taste in your mouth, any of that. We've got to document any of those symptoms.
Oh man, I cannot believe that just happened.
And that got us out here in 2 minutes, and we'll be at Gosford ER in under 10.
Okay, well that was pretty efficient between bite, wrap, wheelchair, out to the vehicle that would take me to the medical facility, less than 2 minutes, and I'd be having help in under 15 minutes.
Yep.
Now, we need to head back inside and get ready to milk the most dangerous snake in all of Australia, the one and only Eastern Brown. All right, now this is a pretty good sized snake, correct?
It's big.
Yeah, one of the biggest, one of the fastest, one of the most ornery here in Australia, and the one that's responsible for biting pretty much more people than any other species.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Eastern Brown is now responsible for 65% of snake bite deaths in Australia.
Wow.
This snake is jumpy, so I'm gonna need a bit of space, and please don't come in until I've got him proper secure. And then I'll call you in, obviously, but yeah, I just need space. He's big, he's over 6 foot, very jumpy. and he's a wild boy.
Okay, eastern brown snake coming out of its enclosure. Ooh, that is a big snake. Oh boy, yeah, no, he does not look real happy, does he?
Okay, we'll get him over here. See him flatten out there. Strike.
Whoa, oh, yeah, he's really quick.
These guys are renowned for just going crazy. Not calculated though, like a taipan, they're just consistent with it. And it's what they use to bluff predators away. And obviously he would look at me as a predator, which is why he's acting like that. Also,
It's interesting the way he curls his body into, ooh, that was close.
See what I mean? That
Yes.
sort of stuff. Straight up at your face.
You okay? You good?
Yeah.
That was intense. Okay, I think we got to get him under control at this point.
And he isn't even one of our jumpiest snakes. All right.
Okay, you good?
All good.
Okay. This is without question the strongest snake that we have held on to today. Unbelievably strong. Okay, you good?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Get him on here. All right, so you can see tiny yields,
Yeah.
but unbelievably toxic. And how's how they act? Like,
Spastic.
they just go nuts. And for the handler, you got to be confident in yourself, like reaction speed, not to let go, what you're doing, your next movement. And like I said, he's not even the craziest. He's one of the quietest eastern browns we've got.
I mean, that was probably the most intense, fastest move I've ever seen a human make, which I'm sure we caught on camera. I mean, he was all the way up by your face when he swung his body up. That was insanity.
He came mouth open at my face, like these things do not muck around.
Okay, all right, guys, we're gonna get the snake back in. That was a very, very, very intense moment. You got him?
Yep.
Okay. Woo. Nice. Woo, man, that, that was so close. I bet your heart's racing right now, isn't it?
I don't really get the adrenaline dump from that anymore.
My heart's racing for you, how about that?
I know that sounds stupid, but because I'm so used to it, I'm so programmed. It's not that I'm not scared or anything, it's not like that. It's just, yeah, it's just part of the job with these guys.
Now that we've got our venom lined up, the next thing I want to do is sit back and take a look and try to calculate how many people this venom yield added up would kill. Billy, I would say that this lineup of shots here before us is arguably the most deadly 5-shot lineup in history.
100%, mate.
So what we want to do now is go through each one of these venom yields, and I'm going to write down your estimate of how many people this would kill. So this part of the episode is us figuring out just how deadly this concoction really is.
Okay.
So we're going to start with the king brown. How many people would you guess that venom is capable of killing? This yield right here.
I would confidently say that would kill about 40 grown men.
Moving to our second vial here, that is the death adder. What is your guess, Billy? How many dead people?
50.
Our third vial belongs to my favorite Australian snake, the tiger snake.
I'd comfortably say 65 with that.
65 tombstones. Our fourth vial is the ever so frisky Costal Taipan. Good size yield.
This is a very dangerous glass in front of us, and I'd say in excess of 150, probably more closer to 200 people.
Wow. All right, I'm rounding up. We're going 200 corpses coming off of that shot glass. And last but not least, one of the craziest snake experiences I've ever seen, your interaction with the eastern brown. A pretty small yield, but pretty toxic.
That's a big yield for a brown snake.
Oh, that's big?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a really big yield for a brown snake, and that'd be 100 people.
100 people.
Yeah.
Okay. 40 plus 50 plus 65 plus 200 plus 100. That is bonkers. So how much antivenom could be created from this venom yield that we have here?
Not much. So you need about 30 of each to create one vial.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the work that's being done here at Australian Reptile Park, this is the only place on the continent where people are milking snakes and creating this life-saving anti-venom. Without that anti-venom, people that are bitten by these snakes every year would not be able to survive. They say not all heroes wear capes. This guy doesn't wear a cape, but honestly, he should have one. It's impressive the work you guys are doing here. And one last thing that I want to answer for everybody out there watching, how is anti-venom made?
It's a crazy process, but in a quick sum, we milk these 5 species, we then freeze dry the venom, we send it to a lab in Victoria, they rehydrate it, small amounts, inject it into horses. So there's Taipan horses, black snake horses, death adder horses, so on.
Different horses designated for different types of venom?
Yep.
Okay.
And they get a tiny injection once a week for about 6 months. Their immune systems are so strong, they don't even pick up on the effects of that venom. I've been down there, they're walking around eating grass, doing horse stuff.
Yeah.
At the end of the envenomation period, that 6-month mark, they bring the horses in individually into a lab. They hook them up to this blood machine and they draw a litre of blood out of them at a time. They run it in a centrifuge. During the envenomation process, their immune systems start to produce venom-resistant plasma. So they remove that out of the blood system, everything else goes back to the horse is fine. That venom-resistant plasma is antivenom. They add some proteins to it, so the human body is more likely to accept it. And yeah, essentially we take on a horse's immune system. And our antivenom in Australia, it's the best quality in the world and it's free. So we're one of the very few countries worldwide that does that. And here at the Australian Reptile Park, we are the sole supplier for terrestrial snake venom for that program.
Very cool. Well, Billy, this has been unbelievably educational. It was amazing to watch you work. Thank you for having us as a part of your day. Check out AustralianReptilePark.com if you want to ever come here and visit or just learn more about the work that they do. I'm Coyote Peterson. Be brave, stay wild. We'll see you on the next adventure.
It doesn't take a genius to recognize how staggering the mathematical death toll is behind today's venom experiment. And now knowing this, I hope you can appreciate why it's so important to avoid interactions of any type with Australia's venomous snake species. Every year, thousands of people are bitten, and every year, thousands of people are saved due to the creation of antivenom. And while milking these reptiles has its inherent dangers, Billy is a seasoned professional who knows the risk, yet remains dedicated to his mission. But seriously, I saw Billy's life flash before my own eyes. So one more time, let's take a look at that shot. Oh, it's crazy. I mean, look how close that snake was to biting his face. Standing ovation. Billy is faster than the brown snake.
If you're still watching, it must mean that you're a Brave Wilderness superfan. And don't click off just yet, we've got some exciting updates for you. The team has been working hard behind the scenes creating cool new merch designs over the past few months, and we wanted to share them with you first here on this episode. Our updated store launches on Monday, May 22nd, but if you head over to shopbravewilderness.com right now and sign up for our emails, you get 10% off your first order. How cool is that?